You ready? Are you hyped? All right, everybody make some noise for Jen. Thank you.
Can you see me? Because the podium's almost as tall as me. You good? All right, we're good. I decided to write some stuff down. Usually when I speak, I just kind of speak. But I really wanted to be intentional this evening. So yes, I wrote some stuff down. Hello everyone, my name is Jen, and I am a woman in long-term recovery. My clean date is April 8th, 2017. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for being here this evening. The mission and the purpose of the work that's being done at the Café is an incredible asset to our community. I want to thank the Café for asking me to share this evening. It's an honor to be considered, but it's a blessing to be asked. The Everett Recovery Café has changed my life. Or shall I say, it's given me a life with purpose and meaning. I want to share my story with the Café, but in order to do that, I need to go back a little bit. From my earliest memory, I always felt like something was off. My parents were addicts, so there was always something that came before me. I truly can't remember a time where I ever felt like I was enough. I'm sure many of us in this room have known that feeling. And many of us in this room know that addiction comes with violence, assault, poverty, homelessness, and trauma. I do not want to share the depths of my trauma from my childhood, or better yet, my lack of childhood. Instead, I want to share how the constant moving from motel to motel, weekly suites, random places, and other unlikely places impacted my ability to ever feel safe. How it impacted my ability to know what actual stability, belonging, and community felt like. All of these things have been so foreign to me all of my life. I started using at the age of 10. The hard drugs started on my 13th birthday and were given to me by my own mother. It was safer if the drugs came from her, she said. I became a product of my environment. I had bounced from school to school. I couldn't keep friends for long because I was that kid that the parents never picked me up. I was the kid that had to wear the same outfit to school and change on the bus when a friend would sneak one of their clean outfits out of their home in the morning. I can recall a few of those traumatic memories, and when I think of them, I get taken back to how I felt in those moments. Being asked to leave my friend's house at the age 11, maybe 12 years old, when it was dark outside and I didn't know where I was going to go. These feelings of abandonment, unworthiness, and fear turned into survival, anger, and desperation. I ended up dropping out of school in my 7th grade year because I couldn't relate to the regular kids there. I was living with random friends because the violence at home was way too much. This cycle repeated for many years, never belonging, never feeling worthy. I spent 25 years of my life in active addiction. I had 2 amazing, beautiful kids during that time. I had my son when I was 18 and my daughter 14 years later. My daughter was born in the worst part of my addiction. I believe she ultimately saved me. I was repeating the very same cycle that I went through. I like to tell myself that it wasn't as bad, but trauma is trauma. Eventually in 2016, my criminal behavior started to catch up with me. I got a DUI while driving under the influence of heroin and was court-ordered to go to inpatient. Over that next year, I went to jail multiple times, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, I lost count. So here I am, after a lifetime of trauma and bad choices, and I was given an ultimatum. Either I went to treatment, or the state was sending me to prison. I had spent so much of my life over the last year away from my kids. I knew I wanted to find a facility that I could take my daughter with me. She was 2 years old at the time, so I needed to find the right facility. That's what led me to Everett. I wish I could say that in that moment I wanted to get clean, but I cannot. In that moment, my intention was to complete treatment, to get the courts off my back, and then I could reunite with my one true love, heroin. I know how that sounds. It's gross, but it's my truth. That drug was the only thing that was keeping me from breaking. It was the place I felt I belonged. Like I said, I know how it sounds. So my daughter and I completed a 6-month inpatient residential program. Today, I thank God for leading us there. We needed that time. 30 days would not have been enough. Once we completed, we stayed in one of their transitional houses to house us while we were waiting for housing. Over the next few months, all of my court cases caught up with me. I became a felon while in recovery. I remember being so angry and having an overwhelming feeling of entitlement. How dare they? Don't they know that I'm clean? Now they want to make me a felon? I'm no longer wreaking havoc in their community. They owe me. But it was that or prison. So I took it. That felony case changed my life, though, because I was eventually accepted into the TAP program, which is a therapeutic approach to prison and prosecution. Because of the TAP program, I was ordered to do 100 hours of community service. As I was trying out other places and having the worst experiences, someone mentioned trying at Everett Recovery Café. I was like, what is Everett Recovery Café? I thought, what do I have to lose? Cry before I even start. I remember that first day so clearly. I got off that bus on Broadway and walked across the street. I remember thinking, it's a house? I walked up the front steps and opened the door. As I walked in, I was greeted by John, who was sitting at a table on my left. Jack was to the right of me playing a guitar. People were eating, playing cards, and they looked genuinely happy. I'll never in a million years forget that feeling. I haven't felt it anywhere else. I felt like I was home. I felt magic in that room. I felt like, wow, I could possibly belong here. What if everything that's happened led me to this moment, and in that moment, I was sold? In order to do my community service hours, I had to become a member. In order to become a member, I had to go to an orientation. In order to stay a member, I had to attend a weekly recovery circle. I thought, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? I just need to do community service. My very first recovery circle was a women's circle. Sarah was the facilitator. When I got out of treatment, there were 25 women altogether that were in my program with me in treatment. Out of 25, a handful immediately started using again, whether it was alcohol, weed, or whatever. I remember sharing in that circle that I couldn't hang out with them anymore because they relapsed. During my feedback, Sarah said, "I know it feels like that right now, but eventually you'll get to a point where you'll be able to meet people where they're at." I didn't understand at the time, but yes, eventually I did. Through doing my 100 hours of community service, I was able to become part of a community. I finally had a safe, stable, welcoming place that I belonged. I couldn't even go to the grocery store without running into somebody I knew. And I had never had that feeling of being greeted in a grocery store or on a bus or walking down the street. I found people outside of my 12-step program that I could connect with. You see, the opposite of addiction is connection. People need people. The cafe became part of my routine. It became part of this new life I was building. It became part of my identity. While at the cafe, my life started to come together. The confidence I was building from having my own community empowered me to follow my own dreams. I went back to school. I had a 6th grade education when I enrolled at Edmonds College. I got my GED, then I got 3 certificates. Then I didn't want to stop. I had a taste for higher education. Got 2 associate degrees. Eventually, I got my bachelor's. I got my bachelor's in child, youth, and family studies. The cafe helped me find my purpose. My daughter and I found safe and stable housing. The cafe fostered a safe space for me to become the woman, mother, community leader, employee, and friend I was meant to be. It wasn't always easy. Sure, many people in this room know that I wasn't always easy. I was so angry in the beginning, and honestly, I just wanted to get loaded almost every day for the first few years. But the cafe always met me with compassion, understanding, and reminded me that I was loved, needed, and wanted. Through my weekly circles, which ended up changing almost every quarter due to school, and my recovery coaches, one who's sitting in this room, I was able to learn what showing up with loving accountability truly is. After I completed my 100 hours of community service, I was offered a position as an employee at the cafe. This time we were in a new space, the current location on California and Grand. Of course I accepted. The cafe understood that my time was limited due to being a full-time student and an only parent. That made me feel like I was valued and wanted, which again gave me so much confidence as a woman building a future from literally nothing. The cafe's family first model gave me security as an only parent, I didn't have to worry about losing my job if my daughter got sick. The cafe continued to support me when they knew my time there was limited. I remember Miss Wendy saying, "We'll take you for as long as we can have you." My dream was to work with youth that are in the criminal justice system. I was the child without a choice. After I became a recovery coach, I tried to start a youth program, but was unsuccessful. However, from that, the Family Recovery Circle was born. The cafe supported me as I was nominated for leadership Snohomish County. As the cafe's resource coordinator, I was able to bring the resources and the information I learned back to the cafe and provide it to our members. It was clear there were gaps in services that needed to be bridged, and the cafe is forefront in working hard to bring those services into our own community. The cafe was one of the first to jump on the trauma-informed care approach by creating a TILT team that I was fortunate to be a part of. When I left the cafe after graduating to take my dream job, which is now with Snohomish County Superior Court, it's weird to work for a system that oppresses you most of your life. Leaving the cafe left me in a really bad situation with all the change. When I left the cafe, I lost a part of my identity. And I, again, was angry. I missed working with my friends and my family there. But as I look around this room today, I am reminded that the cafe played the role it was meant to play to mold me into the confident, strong, capable, and fierce woman that I am today. The Everett Recovery Cafe is not just here to help people change their lives, it's here to help save them. As a recovery coach, I was honored to start coaching a couple people that are now coaches and work with the cafe today. Dan, who just celebrated 3 years, I'm so proud of you. Lexi, who's been sitting out front checking everybody in this evening. What seems like little change with one person has a ripple effect, and the cafe is amazing at fostering that. Thank you.